Hey, what's up, guys? This is Technical Tim here, and this is a UFC off week, so I'm kind of just pumping out videos this week to just talk about random topics that will help you with, some betting tips and things like that. But this one, it's a technique talk, but it's also a betting tip too. It's going to be about Ben Askren and kind of just his style of wrestling. It's very different than what people who aren't familiar with wrestling are used to, and you haven't seen some of his style yet because of who he's gone up against. But I see so many, like I told you in my first video ever, my background is wrestling, and I have an advantage on people. Even the best cappers that there are, like, I have an advantage on them in that field. But I also know what I don't know. And I think Askren is an example of what other people, they need to know what they don't know. And I don't think they actually know what a fight with Askren versus a few other, with Usman, Colby, or Masvidal can actually look like. I've seen people very, very opinionated on both sides, thinking Askren's going to dominate one of them or get dominated himself. And I know his game really well, and I'm gonna show you a video of him in the 2006 NCAA finals against Jake Herbert. Funny story. I was there. I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school, and I saw this match live. But I've only seen it one time since, and I just watched it again today. But I'm gonna go over it again. Now, I didn't prepare. I kind of just saw some things that I was gonna talk on, but I didn't write anything down because I want to kind of make it authentic and go through it as we're kind of watching it together, and so you can kind of see some of the stuff that I can point out in a match. But the reason why I want to show you this is people think Askren's just like a wrestler too, but like any other wrestler you see in MMA, he'll take you down, he'll hold you down, he'll keep you down. But where he really thrives is scrambling, and he scrambles really well when you start wrestling with him, and it's scrambles that you've never seen before. And his nickname's Funky, and it's because of his funky scrambling style. And in college, what I'm about to tell you doesn't look like a normal wrestling match, what I'm about to show you. And he thrives when you're aggressive with takedowns. You might take Askren down, but he's extremely difficult. You can't hold him down. I'm just telling you, his scrambles are too good. You can't hold him down. The way to beat him is to disengage. You have to disengage from the grappling when he tries to wrestle with you, because he'll take some really, really bad shots, but he doesn't care because he'll just keep coming. And so he'll take a really bad shot, and you have to disengage. If you stop a double leg, you can't start then trying to whizzer and post on his head or anything. You just have to get out of there. That's the reason I picked Robbie Lawler to beat him. I thought it was one of the few people in the division who could beat Askren. And I thought it was because he'd play the disengage game, because Lawler comes from a wrestling background, and he's actually a pretty good wrestler. And he was playing that disengage game, and then some stuff happened, but still, Lawler might have ended up finishing him that fight, but Askren may have gotten his wrestling going too. But I did pick Lawler. But where I think Askren can do well, and we've never seen him, but I don't know for sure, and it depends how these two guys approach this fight. Usman and Colby, they're two guys who will wrestle with you. And if we've never seen someone try to actually wrestle with Askren too, it's always been guys trying to prevent the takedown, and they couldn't prevent it. These two guys will wrestle with him, and I want this to be a lesson to show you, be very careful when betting Ben Askren for or against him in the future, because his style is very different. And I'm going to point out throughout going through this fight or this wrestling match with Jake Herbert, and the reason I picked Jake Herbert is because he's a really aggressive wrestler who will go for takedowns. So I'm just going to show you what could happen if someone starts trying to take Askren down. That's when he can get his scrambling going, when you engage with wrestling or don't back away. The way to beat Askren is to disengage from the wrestling, which I think Masvidal has a really good chance to do. I haven't taped these fights head-to-head, him going against Masvidal, Colby, or Usman, but I'm just telling you, some people seem so confident, and I see wrestling write-ups all the time from good handicappers, and they're not good. And I'm just like, man, these guys are, they get a little arrogant with some stuff they think they might know because they might get a little success, but whenever it comes to some of this like wrestling intricacies, they're not there yet. They're still learning, and they don't. They need to know what they don't know, and I'm just telling you because I know Askren's game really well, and I don't even know what's going to happen in these matchups. I'm hesitant to bet either guy because I'm just telling you that there's things he's going to give people really big issues with some of the stuff I'm going to go over, but also his style presents issues coming back his way as well, and he's really hittable, obviously, too. So I'm going to go through this and just kind of talk about his style and his scrambling style and how we haven't seen all his scrambles yet because he hasn't gone against anyone trying to take him down, but we're probably going to have him go against Colby or Usman at some point. So I'm just telling you what that might look like, and I just want you to be aware of what it could look like, and I don't want you to get burned on a bet because I could easily see Askren losing, but I could easily see him winning. So don't be too confident in him, but don't underestimate his abilities either, because it's a different type of scrambling that you guys have not seen before. I'm just unless if you pay attention to wrestling, you haven't seen it. So sorry that I ranted, but I just wanted to kind of emphasize why I'm doing this video, and I'm gonna go through this. So all right, let's go through Herbert and Askren.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go over first before we go over this Askren match. I just want to show you, his match is full of wrestling rides where he's doing a bunch of what we call wrestling breakdowns. There's a lot of just like ways to break someone's base to get them back on the mat that Askren does to Herbert throughout the match, and this is one that he constantly does. And then he also the match is, so it's kind of full of him doing wrestling breakdowns, breaking someone's base, and it's also him scrambling as well. So that's what the two big things in this match is. He's scrambling off the aggressiveness of Herbert, and then he's also using different breakdowns. And here's one of them. This is just, it's called a tight waist far ankle, and it's a very basic wrestling move. You learn it your first couple weeks you ever hit the wrestling mat. And so these two guys right here are going in what's called a referee's position, and you'll see that in this match of Askren and Herbert a lot. But in the match also, like, so you'll see them keep resetting here because the top person, if they go out of bounds or something, the top person goes back, and this is just like the restart position. But also, this match might look a little weird because you guys are used to people going on their back, but the whole point of wrestling is to not be put on your back. So Askren's purpose is to put Herbert on his back, and Herbert's trying to not be on his back. So that's why that's a big difference of pure wrestling and kind of jiu-jitsu. But I just wanted you guys to know, just in case it looked a little weird. But still, there's still a lot of techniques that you can get out of here that will translate into MMA. But here's a basic breakdown from referee's position. In referee's position, you have one guy on top, or the guy on bottom is on all fours, so on his knees, and then he's on his hands. And this guy, you can go on either side. I always started on the right side. It's kind of unconventional. A lot of people start on the left side. And you will put your hand on the elbow, and I'm going to slow this down a little bit just so you guys can see it in real time. And then his right arm is going to come across to the middle of the bottom player's stomach. So that's referee's position. And then when you blow the whistle here, you're going to see him immediately go to the tight waist far ankle to break this guy's base. And this is what Askren does to Herbert a lot. So what you want to do on a tight waist far ankle is you're going to see this guy's left arm go across this guy's body. So you're going to see his hand immediately go here, and you're going to see this right hand go to the far ankle. This would be the near ankle, the bottom player's near ankle, but this guy's far ankle, that's what he wants to get. So watch. Boom. You see? This guy's left arm goes across his body, and his right hand gets the bottom player's ankle, and then he's going to put all his forward pressure and really heavy hips up into this guy's left armpit, and you're gonna see this guy. You're driving kind of this way and this way up towards the armpit at the same time, so he'll kind of go diagonal. That's how you want to do it, but there's a lot of pressure. Now watch. See that? So he's driving up in the armpit, heavy hip pressure. He's pulling up on the ankle back there, so he's breaking his base down here, down by his legs on this side of his body, and he's also breaking the base of his upper body, his hands down here, by going up on this side of the body, on the right side. So that's all it is. That's just a tight waist, and you're going to see Askren do that. And I kept talking about tight waists in the Kenny, or in spiral rides in the Casey Kenny preview last week, and this is some of the stuff that I saw him do on tape. So that's... this. Whenever I mention I see someone's really good at riding, it's because I see specific techniques like this. So now let's go to the Askren and Herbert match, and we're going to watch this pretty much from the start. Let's put the volume down on here, and let's watch it in real time, and I'll slow it down. I'm not going to call out every move because these scrambles are absolutely insane. I also apologize for the quality. The original source, this is just what the quality is, so that's all we can have to go off of. Okay, we have normal speed here. So here we go. This is the start of the match, 2006 NCAA Finals, Askren and Herbert. So Herbert's immediately, look at this, he immediately shoots in, okay? So he immediately shot in on Askren and starts, which was a big mistake, because if you're too aggressive on Askren, he's just going to scramble out. And this is kind of what I wanted to point out with Usman and Covington. If they start engaging with him, you can't hold Askren down, and you're going to see that, and he'll start scrambling. What they would have to do to beat him is just disengage from the grappling and then whoop his ass on the feet, because Askren can't strike very well. But if they play a grappling game, I do not think they're going to win. So, they would make it very hard on themselves. That's what I'm saying. And because they'll start scrambling. And I've seen people say Usman would out wrestle Askren, and these same people don't even know that Askren's main way of wrestling is when someone's wrestling him and he gets to scramble on the mat. He's known as a mat wrestler, and you'll see most of this college match takes place on the mat and not on the feet. Okay. So whenever he shot in, Askren was grabbing his arms around his body to start a scramble, and he's doing a lot of just disturbing things right now to Herbert. He's grabbing his ankle here, and I think Askren is going to use a really good maneuver in a second. I think that's what I remember, and I'll point it out. Okay. So he grabs his ankle. So it looks like Askren's about to be taken down, right? But he's just kind of scrambling. And he's not behind Askren yet, Herbert. Now watch, okay. So now he comes out the back door, we call that, and he puts his right leg up so he can become the high man. He wants to get high to start breaking Herbert down. The high man wins these scrambles. Okay. Herbert's doing the right thing, keeping a right post hand, but he's just not the high man because Askren started standing up with his right leg. Askren could have, if he wouldn't have used that post hand right there, he would have probably lost his scramble. But look, he used the post hand to be the high man. And that's why he's going to come out on top on this scramble. Now look. Just like that, Askren got top position. He did not take a double leg. He did not do anything. He just scrambled off Jake Herbert's aggressiveness, and I'm just telling you, I could see Covington or Usman doing something like that, and then Askren being the one to get on top. So I just want to point this out. This is a different type of wrestling we haven't seen before, and we've never seen anyone in MMA try to wrestle Askren, and so we've never got to see the beauty of his scrambles, and I'm telling you, they're really good, but they're also flawed and can put him into deep trouble, and that's why I'm saying I don't know who would win if he fought these guys. And I think Masvidal is one of the tougher matchups for him. But, okay, we're going to keep going. So he's getting a thing called a near fall right now, or in a second. You guys, it's because he's putting them on his back, so you guys aren't going to know what that is. But he scores, I think, 4 points here. Yeah, he's going to get 4 points here. But look, he's just scrambling, and he's using that post hand, right? Also, it's important to point out that Herbert was an Olympian. So this guy, and these were the two best wrestlers in the country at this time, and a lot of people were picking Herbert to win this match. Now look at this. He's lacing Herbert's right leg here. They just call it the stalemate. Essentially, it's whenever there's a neutral position with not much action, they call it a stalemate. So now they're going to go to referee's position, what I talked about earlier in that earlier video. So you're going to start. And he might... I can't remember. I haven't watched this match since yesterday, but look at that. Remember I talked about tight waist? Boom. He's doing the tight waist. The right arm comes, and he's getting the tight waist far ankle with his left hand to break Herbert's base. And now he switches, see? And that wasn't working, and then he switched. This is I forget the actual name of this move, and this was my go-to move that I did to work a thing called an arm bar in wrestling. It's different than in jiu-jitsu, but you can just call it we'll just call it the arm bar breakdown for purposes of this video, but that's something Askren does a lot too. It's another way to break someone's base, but he's putting head pressure into this armpit area, and then he's pulling his wrist, and so you're pushing this way and pulling that way, so you'll just see the base breaking. Look, he's going to the ankle again. This is actually a near ankle, but you just see he's doing breakdowns the entire time. Now he's going to the tight waist. He switches back. Now, oh my God, that was fucking amazing. So Herbert's kind of at this point just like, what the fuck is going on? And he's obviously discouraged because he's undefeated going into this match, Herbert, just so you know. And so he tries to Granby roll out of here. You see Mighty Mouse use Granby rolls against Cejudo. He tries to Granby roll, right? And it was actually probably a pretty good idea because he wants to Granby roll so he can roll that way and just disengage from Askren because he doesn't want to scramble anymore. And Askren's all over it. And I'm not sure if this is what happens. I just saw this, but I'm pretty sure what I saw is Askren's going to use his right leg to trap this the left arm of Herbert so he can't roll through. Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, that is what he did. So watch, he just traps him here, and then he has kind of like a weird underhook. It's not really an underhook though, over on this side to put him on his back and keep him stabilized. Oh, he didn't have an underhook. He just had a tight waist. But yeah, he used that leg. Now watch, just a little ankle lace. So just see all the riding techniques Askren's using. He just used a post hand there to keep him down. So now you see kind of him looking like he might get a double leg here. And then Askren, what he does is he grabs in between. It's kind of like a crotch lift here. So he can't finish the double leg Herbert anymore. So see that? He has like a crotch lift kind of right there. And then he's just using his legs to kind of hold him together so he can't spin into him. And still, he's still holding onto this leg. He's probably going to force a stalemate here, just so he can't get behind him now. But I want to point this out. Stuff like this in MMA could get him in trouble, and it did against Robbie Lawler. He'll grab onto legs and stuff like this to start scrambling when you get him down, and that's why I think a guy like Usman could also make him pay for this. And same with Masvidal and even Covington. It's more dangerous with a heavy puncher like Lawler, but that's something I worry about. And I'm pointing both of these out because I think the scrambling is a big issue, and I'm telling you, Usman and Covington, it's not a walk in the park, and they're not going to be able to hold Askren down. But something they can do is take advantage of his scrambling, because you can actually throw punches in MMA. He's probably going to... Yeah, he forces a stalemate. Okay. Referee's position. Tight waist. See that? He's doing a tight waist right now. And then, real quick, he did a tight waist. And then he shifts his body to the right and kind of finishes it like you'd finish a double leg. Watch. He shifts his body to the right. Boom. Double leg. So he's just, dude, he's just always making you work. And he's just doing so much. So yeah, still scrambling, and anytime you start getting in on his hips, he'll go for that crotch lift and things like this. Okay, oh, that was sick right here. So watch this. So he's gonna sit through Askren. He sits through, and he's sitting through so he can then elevate Herbert's left leg up in the air, so Herbert will go flat on his back. And these scrambles, you do not see these in really even in college wrestling that much. Askren's just kind of like in a world of his own, and that's what he was known for. Watch this. So he's going to sit through, and he's going to elevate that leg up, I'm guessing, at some... Yeah, he starts elevating it up. Oh, man. So just like that, see how he's just always kind of the one who ends up in top position just because he's a really good scrambler? So that... Dude... Guys, that was 3 minutes of wrestling only. And that was all the stuff he was doing in 3 minutes. So I think that's important to point out. So now we're going to the second period. There's 3 periods in wrestling. And he's up big. He's up 6-0. This is a huge... Yeah. He did the tight waist. He did the tight waist here. And Herbert keeps his butt back on his heels to kind of prevent his weight from going this way. And then Askren just switches to the armbar breakdown. Bam. Switches to armbar breakdown. Chain wrestling right there. Then just flattens him out. Just heavy, heavy pressure on that side into the armpit when he did that. Good switch and scramble by Herbert. That's actually a 2-point reversal, so you're going to see Herbert get 2 here. But look at Askren. See how much Askren will hold Herbert down whenever he gets him down? Look how quick Askren gets up whenever he's on the bottom position. Look, he's grabbing his right leg, Herbert's right leg over here to start a scramble, and he's getting wrist control. Watch, he'll get wrist control, and he'll stand right back up. Look at him. See? He's grabbing wrist control on this side. He's so hard to hold down, man. See, he's just got wrist control, and he's trying to fight it off. He gets kind of put down. He's still scrambling. Herbert's doing a good job at getting his ankle. And then Askren grabbed his... Look what he did. Askren grabbed his wrist off his ankle because he knew that's what was keeping him down. He's getting his ankle grabbed. He just reaches back and just grabs it. This will probably force a stalemate here, I'm guessing. They're kind of in like a... I'm not sure. They're kind of in just a neutral, like nowhere... Yeah, so they force a stalemate. But see, even though Askren didn't get up, see some of the stuff he was doing really quickly, and he's really hard. It's really hard to keep his base down. Where Askren can break Herbert's base really easily, it's not the same way in reverse because he's so good at getting wrist control. Look at him. He's getting wrist control. The left side, he's already got it to stand up. Look at that. Wrist control. Wrist control. And a big thing he did here also, he gets his hips, Askren gets his butt away and not underneath Herbert's hips. Watch. See how his hips aren't there anymore? He moved them because he knows that's why his That's what's keeping him down, and he gets wrist control. So he clears his hips. Watch. He clears his hips. His hips are cleared. And then he gets wrist control. Easy escape. And then he gets out. Boom. So that shows how important wrist control is. And it just shows how Askren's really, really hard to hold down. And I'm just telling you, like, don't think Usman and Covington are going to win by wrestling in top time, because I don't think they can hold Askren down. Can they make him pay for some of his scrambles, and that will expose Askren to punches? I think that's definitely a possibility. I also think Askren has no striking, so that's what makes the matchup intriguing as well. But I'm just telling you, it's not as easy as you think, whichever side you are on. And I'm probably going to be staying away from most of these fights. I would bet Askren over some other people. But those 3 fights, I think it's kind of tough to tell. And I know Askren well, and even I'm admitting what I don't know type of thing, where other people are kind of just being a little arrogant. And I don't think they realize what they don't know in this situation. It's okay to have doubt. And I have doubt whenever he goes in a matchup against some of these guys. But look, immediately just scrambling. Look, he's the high man. He uses that post hand. He's the high man. He comes back on top. Heavy hip pressure. This is a similar. You'd see people put hooks in sometimes in MMA. I'm gonna let a lot of this kind of ride out now, because I think I pretty much demonstrated what Askren's all about here. But maybe we'll watch the rest of the match. I'll stop pausing, but we can kind of watch it out, and I'll kind of finish my thoughts as we go. But, I do want to point out that, see how Askren's shots, they kind of look shitty? And people will be like, his takedowns aren't that good. You'll see a lot of people say that in the forums and things like that. But he doesn't care if he fails a takedown. He just wants to start scrambling with you. His shots are never good on the feet. It's his scrambling and his ability to get top position from the scrambles that make him so good. So, yeah, his shot's terrible, but watch. He's holding on to the right leg. He's got a single leg. Look, he lifts him up in the air, and he's going to bring him back down. He'll probably have to get that. Okay, he came out the back door, and he's going to get top position here. Yeah. Boom. So see what I mean? That shot didn't look good, but it's kind of like Tatiana Suarez against Carla Esparza at times. She would take not that great of shots, but she just wants to get a hold of you so she can start kind of scrambling and working her game. Tries a Granby again. Askren was aware of it. He's breaking his base. Heavy hip pressure. He's got his ankle laced back here. Tight waist. He could switch to a double here. I don't know what he's going to do, or elevate the legs. He's going to get back points here. Back points are just a way to pin someone. But look, he's just holding on to the ankle. He's going to work his way to the back. Nice. Heavy hip pressure. He just dumps him out of bounds there because he couldn't break his base, so he didn't want... You have to actually fully get away from someone to get an escape, so Askren maintained position. They just went out of bounds, and now they're back into referee position. Askren's elevating his legs here to put him back on his back. He's got to elevate the legs to get him on his back. Yep, he's starting to do it. Oh, nice. So he was elevating the legs, and to keep him elevated, watch what he does. Watch what he does. He uses his left knee as like a pin to keep the legs up in the air. See that? See that? His left knee's keeping the legs up in the air. That was nice, too. He gets more back points. He's going to be up 13-2. He wins this match 13-2, guys, and I'm just telling you, this match was the most highly anticipated match of the year in 2006, and a lot of people thought Herbert was going to win, but Herbert made a big mistake trying to aggressively double leg Askren, and he went right into Askren's world to start scrambling, and I'm telling you, if a guy like Usman or Covington start doing that, that's what that can make Askren get ultra dangerous with his scrambles and get on top. And we've never seen Askren get to scramble because we've never gone against anyone who's willing to consistently try to take him down. So I'm just telling you, know what you don't know. And I know Askren's game, but I truly do not know what's going to happen if he fights some of these guys, because I do think his scrambling can work, but it can also expose him to punches, and he's not a good striker. So I just wanted to point that out. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and comment below if you have any questions. I hope you guys can follow along with this. As you can see, I'm really excited when I talk wrestling. So yeah, like the video, please subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.